If you saw the last video about Sarawak in 8K, that has been taking up a lot of my time. And the reason why is I wanted to test out the camera's capabilities at different ISOs at the highest level to see how things look. I've seen some videos talking about the noise that the camera can generate and how it could affect image quality and so on. Now, one of the things I can say is, while shooting different cameras, one of the things that I've learned is that with the right software, whether it's video or photo, you can get rid of most of that noise. And many YouTubers are going to tell you, this camera isn't great because of this noise level, blah, 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 and all that stuff. Most cameras today, I'll say just about everything, you can get great pictures at high ISO and still get good results from them. You just have to know what you're doing. Before we begin, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links for items to purchase in the description area of each video. You've seen some of the videos I was doing in daylight and a couple indoor things, but I wanted to test it out a bit more in some dark situations. And I have to admit, while the video was about 4 minutes long, it wasn't a complete video. It was probably about 10 minutes or a little bit longer than that. But the noise reduction process was taxing my computer. I imported it into 8K timeline, wanted to edit into 8K timeline and deliver in 8K. Didn't realize how much of a pain that was going to be until I started the process. But I wasn't about to give up. I was going to do it and get it done. Some of the challenges that I encountered is that when trying to color grade and get rid of some of the noise, that took a long time to get through the timeline. And even though sometimes I drop it down to like a quarter resolution, it's still, just getting it to move, it took a while. And I don't know if it was because I had upgraded to the Davinci 19 Beta 1, Beta 2, and then the last was Beta 3. That could have been part of it, because things definitely didn't seem to operate the same way as I've done with 18. I mean, I have done 8K videos before and done noise reduction inside of it, and it didn't take as long as this one. Now, typically you're shooting at roughly 800 ISO or higher for log. So it kind of struck me as odd that these things, it would go down to like 0 to 1 frame, 0 to 1, 0 to 1 to do the color correction, the grading on the timeline. It was very annoying. That took weeks. And when I finally got to a portion that I said I could work on this stuff, when the render went to like 8 hours, went to bed, woke up the next morning, it was still going. It was like, oh, it's about 80-something% done. Then the machine, well, it's not the machine, the software crashed. And I was like, son of a gun, this is just too much. I've done it multiple times and it was just painful. But let me show you what we started with. Some of these images are on ISO 2500 or so. And I know in the video I put there is from auto and whatever the range was, because I wanted to let the camera manage things, and I set my ISO limit to 2500, so in case it gets too dark, the camera can take care of whatever. But it came out pretty good. I don't think it goes, I think I've seen probably 4000 ISO. And maybe I didn't use that one in these things. I think most of the ones in here, the nighttime ones, are right around 2500 or so. But these are like photos of the clips, or from the clips, I should say, that I was shooting, so you can see what the noise looked like, just, the unprocessed image. And one of the things I was trying to do was to get rid of the grain, to get it smoothed out to look really good. And even though I had to dial it back, what you see on the video is after YouTube's applied on compression on it, it made it a little bit better. Now for the first clip, I had a filter on, it's a polarizing filter. And I forgot that I was shooting through glass, and I kind of darkened it up a bit. And ISO actually ended up being a bit higher than I'd expected for daytime. So there was a bit more grain inside the footage. So you could see a little bit of banding in the first footage. But you know, if you watch the video, and I want you guys to go back and watch that because I'm not going to throw it in here. It's just going to be too painful. Watch that video after you watch this one to see what I'm talking about. The clips that I put in, you can see what the noise looked like in those, but you can see what the end result was. And it came out looking pretty darn good. The new noise reduction feature that I had in there, that can take care of chroma noise and so on. You just select it and, you know, you can move the point to where you want it and it'll make adjustments automatically and then it will clean things up. In beta 2, when I first tried it, it definitely took forever to clean up one section, you know, just hours to get that done. I had to go out, leave the machine alone, and then come back and check it just to get like, you know, what, a 10-second clip cleaned up properly. Then after they did the beta 3 update, it improved a bit. It went from 0 to 2 frames per second. You know, still not that great, but it got the job done. But what I saw when I did it that way, it was like, there was like absolutely no noise. Everything was clean. And trying to render that one, yeah, you can see what I put the screenshot here. You can see what I'm talking about. These are like the new ones. I deleted the other ones that I tried to do the render, but these are like the last batch. So you guys can see what was going on. You know, how long this thing was taking to render when it was all said and done. I'm hoping that when they get everything sorted and everything comes out, this thing works a whole lot faster. But anyhow, you know, I started thinking to myself, maybe I need to get a new Mac. That'll probably be better. The results surprised me. And, you know, Nikon itself, yes, it recorded with some grain. The software cleaned it up extremely well. The final one that you've seen in YouTube, I dialed it back a bit and it had some grain inside of it, but again, YouTube compression make it look even better. But from what I saw, utilizing the software, once I got it to a state where it looked really good, it was like, you know, you shot in like ISO 64, just clean, no noise, nada. Now, if you're going out and you're shooting with your Z8 or any Nikon camera for video, remember, a little bit of noise is not a bad thing. It's not going to, you know, mess up your video a whole lot if you know how to use good noise reduction programs to take care of that. So, you know, shoot what you want. Set the ISO as high as you want to set it. Granted, if it's too high, it may bring a bit more noise, but the whole idea is to capture the scene, capture the situation. Once you get it, you can tweak it. And I think for most of the stuff up to 25.6, it will still be usable for the most part. But again, you probably don't want to go that high, but test out the camera, see what works for you and what the results you can get from it. Don't be afraid to try it. It's a great camera with some fantastic specs on it, and anyone choosing this camera, you won't be disappointed with the performance you get from it. And also, I would say, stick with Davinci Resolve. Nikon work with Davinci or some Blackmagic Design to get fine-tuning settings inside of Resolve for the NRAW files. It's the two together is just going to bring out the best out of the files. Yes, the Nikon lot can be a little bit contrasty, but you can dial that back with a bit of color grading, you know, bring that contrast down, get it to something where you like. It's not a bad thing to do, but it's all about learning how to do some color grading and getting the look you want. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. If you have any comments on the video that I put out and this one, just to kind of talk about, I have any questions about how things are done, if there's anything you want to see or, you know more about the process, let me know in the comment section. Take care.